What if Yuji Itadori's ultimate sacrifice in Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo took a totally wild turn? The year is 2086. The alien invasion is over and Earth is saved. But for Yuji, the win came at a crazy price: immortality. Watching everyone around him age and turn to dust became straight up torture. And it doesn't stop there. Knowing the world had changed and that insane sorcerers like Gojo or Yuta would never be born again, Yuji cooked up a radical plan. He wants to break the cycle of dependence on Jujutsu. He wants to put the fate of the planet back in the hands of regular people. To do that, he makes an extreme call. He intentionally shatters his own soul. He turns himself into a living artifact. He seals himself away to escape the constant loss and disappear for good as humanity's last crutch. But here's the heavy question. What if the whole thing went sideways? Imagine the world forgetting how to open the seal and Yuji gets stuck in total darkness. Not for a few decades like it was supposed to be, but for 1,000 years. 10 centuries of absolute silence, trapped inside a mind that simply cannot die. My name is Shoyo, and in today's video, we're diving deep into this dark timeline. We're gonna explore what would happen if Itadori's plan completely spun out of control and the power scaling went through the roof. But first, you already know the drill. Subscribe, hit the bell, drop a like to support the channel. Now, let's get into it. The end of an era. To really get how bad this situation is, we gotta go back to 2086, the exact end of the Sumerian conflict. That alien arrival flipped everything upside down. The balance of power on Earth just broke. After some absolutely insane battles, Mahoraga adapting to alien tech through sheer brute force, and Deborah getting forced to fall back after that crazy clash with Maro, the dust finally settled. The alien threat was neutralized, and that's right when Yuji shows back up. Classic scene. He rolls in holding Panda's head, throws out a yo to Nobara, and immediately gets chewed out for going MIA during the war. But the vibe is heavy. The truth is written all over everybody's face. Yuji Itadori hasn't aged a single day. Way back, to go toe-to-toe with ancient threats and level up his power, Yuji absorbed the paintings of death. His biology got completely rewritten. He transcended, became a perfect hybrid, half human, half curse. His HP bar basically got locked at infinity. Time can't touch him. The kid who used to be hunted down by the higher-ups for execution is now a living relic. He's doomed to watch every battle buddy get wrinkles, die, and become history while he stays exactly the same. His power level peaked at max, and he ended up the last one standing. The final plan and the catastrophic failure. Yuji puts together an insane plan. He doesn't want to be some fake god holding back Earth's natural growth anymore. He wants out. He wants to rest. He gives up his own body. Using everything he ever learned about the soul, he pulls off a massive binding vow and willingly becomes a special grade cursed object. Same thing Sukuna did with his fingers, but to save the world. He condenses himself into a core, and our boy Panda becomes his mechanical terminal and guardian. The rule was simple. Yuji would only be woken up if Earth hit an actual game over moment. Years pass, Japan rebuilds, Nobara dies of old age, and that's exactly when Yuji's plan falls completely apart. Turns out, the weird energy left over from the alien weapons reacted with the seal's magic short circuit. The energy got corrupted, and the door to the module just locked for good. The lock broke. When Panda realizes what happened, he loses it. He tries to brute force the seal open, but the pressure from that mixed energy is so brutal that his core fries. Panda overloads and dies right there. And that's it. The last guardian fell. With no Panda and no sorcerer alive who could fix the seal, the Yuji module gets left behind. It ends up buried under new cities. Humanity keeps moving, evolving on pure physical strength alone, forgets about Jujutsu entirely, and Yuji gets buried alive by history. And Yuji, he's still in there, awake, trapped in absolute emptiness, feeling every single millisecond go by. No light, no sound for 1,000 years straight. And here's the thing, the catastrophic failure wasn't even strictly necessary for him to stay trapped. By the original rules of his plan, he'd already be sealed and dormant until a new global threat popped up anyway. But to make this theory hit harder and actually explain why nobody pulled him out for a millennium, we threw in this catastrophic glitch. The thing genuinely locked up and got forgotten forever. Scenario 1, the global target. We jump to the year 3086. 10 centuries of wear and tear finally crack the seal, and the module opens. Yuji walks out and doesn't recognize a single thing or a single person. His plan from way back worked too well. In those 1,000 years, humanity evolved its genetics to the absolute max. Heavenly restriction is now the organic standard across the globe. Curse energy completely zeroed out in Japan. Nobody leaks energy anymore. Sorcery became a legend from the past. But that creates a massive problem. Yuji is now the biggest biological anomaly on Earth. He's a walking nuclear reactor of cursed energy, moving freely through a society that takes pride in pure physical strength. Humans don't see him as salvation. They see him as a global level threat, an ancient space parasite about to blow up the world they live in. The guy who gave his life for humanity is now their prey. Imagine how insane that scene is. Yuji getting surrounded by entire armies, thousands of warriors with the physical stats of Toji Fushiguro and Maki. They come at him with heavy futuristic artillery and insane physiques. Yuji takes some hits, but his crazy regeneration heals everything in a fraction of a second. The whole time he's going max power just to defend himself, but he's constantly holding back so he doesn't kill the people he swore to protect. It's a worldwide brawl and pressure from every direction. A hell where he's the final boss without wanting to be, but eventually Yuji just gets tired of taking free damage. He realizes there's no way to coexist with this new humanity, so he decides to make a point with pure shock and awe. He simply drops his defenses, lets the entire army unload everything on him, takes missiles, energy blasts, and lethal strikes from thousands of Tojis all at once, and walks out of the smoke, stone-faced, regenerating his entire body in the blink of an eye. He doesn't kill a single person, but he unleashes 100% of his cursed energy pressure into the air around him. The weight of his aura gets so dense that the gravity around him slams the entire army into the ground. Nobody can even breathe. The whole planet feels the chill of a supreme predator waking up. He gets his point across through pure, absolute intimidation. Don't come after me, because next time I won't hold back. After that, Yuji drops off the radar. Since he spent 1,000 years training his mind, he uses Jujutsu at such a ridiculous level that he completely zeroes out his own energy leak. He compresses that nuclear reactor aura and vanishes. He blends into the crowd and goes to live a completely normal life. He's just another civilian in a futuristic society. The wild part is that in a world where everybody has Toji-level organic strength, Yuji has to perform 24/7s. He has to act like everyday tasks take effort just to not blow his cover. The most lethal being in the universe becomes the quiet dude down the street, literally the final boss living undercover as an NPC. Scenario 2, a runaway war machine. Jujutsu Kaisen always hits you in the psyche, and this is where things get really dark. What does 1,000 years of sensory deprivation do to an immortal guy's head? Remember Gojo? He got sealed in the prison realm and had to keep his mind blank to stay sane. And Gojo was only in there for 19 days. Itadori's mind was already a minefield from the jump. Deep trauma, guilt, and the bloodthirsty instinct of the paintings of death baked into his DNA. During those centuries in the dark, Yuji's brain breaks. He gets stuck in a loop, reliving the deaths of Nanami, Gojo, and Megumi billions of times over. Since his biology won't let him die from exhaustion, the human part of his soul just shatters. Yuji's unshakable kindness gets swallowed whole by the predatory instinct of a curse. When the seal opens in 3086, he's not a disoriented hero anymore. He walks out cold, eyes dark. He's become a runaway war machine. The killer instinct takes over everything. Any human with heavenly restriction that tries to attack gets obliterated without the slightest effort. He doesn't think he just walks and destroys a one-man army wandering the planet. The brute force of the new humans slams into an invisible wall of energy. The hero became a drifter who levels entire cities just because they were in his way. A constant, purposeless threat. But does anyone in the far future have what it takes to stop him? Drop your theory in the comments. Scenario 3, the new king of curses. Now the definitive ending. The power scaling breaks the ceiling and things become completely irreversible. Get ready. Remember how Yuji's original plan was to only wake up if a legit game over level threat showed up? Well, that moment finally arrived. Still in 3086, Earth is in its final days. An absolutely broken alien race has actually shown up to wipe everything clean. Humanity, even packed with people at Toji's level, is getting absolutely destroyed. Billions die in a matter of weeks. In total desperation, the military resistance finds the module buried in the melted ruins of Tokyo. They use fusion lasers, make sacrifices, force the ancient seal every way possible, and get down on their knees begging for a miracle. And Yuji rises from the shadows. But the being that lifts his head isn't Itadori anymore. Millennia in the dark turned him into the exact opposite of everything he used to be. He became exactly what he spent his whole life hunting. During those 1,000 years in the void, the only thing Yuji's mind did to pass the time was train. He refined and mastered Jujutsu to a cosmic level. He looks up at the sky, packed with cruiser ships raining fire, looks down at the bloodied humans on the ground begging for help. He doesn't see allies, he only sees filth. He stares at a universe that was cruel enough to let him lose his mind alone in the dark. Without a single drop of empathy, Yuji raises his hand. He brings his fingers together. Domain expansion. The sky tears open. The radius isn't a city block, it's dozens of kilometers. A colossal structure of flesh and boiling blood swallows the entire metro area all at once. The cursed gravitational pressure crushes kilometers of alien fleet in the sky in the same instant. The human resistance warriors, who were just begging for help, gone in the same fraction of a second, obliterated by the area-wide blood manipulation. Ally or enemy, doesn't matter. Everything turns to red dust instantly. And the detail that really chills your spine. There's no Satoru Gojo to stop him. The power ceiling vanished 1,000 years ago. No Infinite Void, no Yuta left, no Maki. Nobody to go head to head and check the kid's insanity. The balance of power in the universe breaks for good. He surpassed Sukuna in the worst way imaginable. Yuji Itadori takes his seat on a gruesome throne with nobody left to challenge him. He ascends as the true and definitive king of curses, an untouchable god reigning over ashes. In the end, the guy who was supposed to save humanity becomes the very thing that destroys it. What do you think about this dark timeline? Do you think Yuji's soul can handle 1,000 years of avoiding monster force?
Gotta get it, we gotta move it. If you gon' do it, then who can you not to get? Everybody just talk, nobody really do it. Now I'm not a yard, my dish, Tokyo, give me 20. Gotta cut the cock on me now. We all chip on the